Accesso and our position in the market. We're already the market leader, and I think this just sort of sticks the landing for us for the next 10 years or so.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Steve Brown. He's the Chief Executive of Accesso Technology Group. Steve, very good to speak with you. You're about to leave the company, but during your time there, you've overseen revenue growth, a surge in profitability, and 43 new venue wins last year alone. What are you most proud of during your time as CEO of Accesso?
And I get asked that question a lot in the last few weeks, and it may sound trite, but I have to say that over the last, gosh, almost 20 years now, the team that I've curated, and I will take credit for that. The team that I've curated is definitely what our clients tell us they appreciate about the company the most. I added up the number of years, just the senior leadership team, like the top 7, and they have over 100 years of experience with Accesso. And that speaks to the company, the quality of the company and our culture, but that really is what I'm most proud of. I have to say, though, from a client perspective, 20 years ago, we had a few customers. We had Six Flags back then, which is amazing. But today we're running everything from the Great Pyramids of Egypt to the biggest theme park here in Orlando to 160 ski resorts. It's really just phenomenal how this company has grown. And I think it's honestly never been in a better position.
The acquisition of Dexibit and the launch of Accesso Intelligence feels like a significant strategic pivot towards AI and analytics. Was that always part of the plan, and how does it change the company's trajectory?
It's we've done a lot of acquisitions, as you all will know, over the years, and I characterize Dexibit as the cherry on top because we're all dealing with the world of AI today. People ask, "Oh, is Accesso at risk for AI?" And we have a very different view. We think AI is actually a major advantage for Accesso and will make our products even better than they already are. And so what Dexibit does is, instead of sort of, I guess you could say, selfishly looking at our own products and saying, what can we do with AI inside our product? We've actually said, what do the operators need? And what the operators need is a view across all of their systems and all of their data that sits in random places today, and they don't have an aggregated view across that universe of data. And what Dexibit does is it allows us to sit on top across all those systems, whether they're an Accesso system or not, and bring that all into a language model, LLM model, if you will, for the operators to use. So conversational analytics that a theme park operator or a restaurant manager or a finance leader in a park can go and ask the questions about their revenue, about their performance, about their guest reviews, and not just from Accesso systems, whatever they may be using. Could be competitor system, but also bring in outside data like weather, social media. I think it's a game changer for Accesso, and I am so pleased to sort of have that as as my parting gift, I guess you could say, to the business, is that we managed to complete that acquisition. And the team now actually is in New Zealand with the Dexibit group. They're doing some training and getting to know the group there. But it's going to fundamentally change Accesso and our position in the market. We're already the market leader, and I think this just sort of sticks the landing for us for the next 10 years or so.
Well, Lee Cowie joined as Chief Operating Officer just over a year ago. He's about to step up as CEO. How deliberate was that succession plan, and what makes him the right person to lead Accesso into its next chapter?
It was very deliberate. I've known Lee for a very long time. As you will see from his bio, he was the Chief Information Officer at Merlin. He was there during our implementation across their 100+ venues that are customers today. He knows Accesso well. He knows the industry well. He knows international operations very well. And as I was searching for a COO, I was really searching for someone to ultimately succeed me. And so it was a very intentional strategy. And we interviewed many candidates, and at the end I said, look, what I really need is I need Lee. And I phoned him up and said, Lee, this is a great opportunity. Would you please join Accesso? And it didn't take much convincing. And he's been here now, it'll be a year and a half, really deep inside Accesso, knows the business well. And I think you couldn't have planned a better succession than what we put in place with Lee stepping into the CEO role this coming Friday.
You've also brought Joni Newkirk onto the board, someone who's spent 2 decades at Disney, overseeing more than $8 billion in revenue. What does that kind of experience add to Accesso at this particular moment?
Well, Joni is the top of my list in terms of theme park experts. She is absolutely a brilliant mind. She knows this business inside out and backwards. She has worked with clients and customers around the world in her consulting business over the years. And now she's ready to take a board seat with Accesso. And that's going to be a phenomenal advantage for the company. Having someone with that deep insight, but also someone who understands data analytics, like no one I've ever worked with, honestly. And as we move into the world of AI and leveraging all of that data, the team having someone like Joni on board or on the board, literally, I think is going to really be a phenomenal support for Lee and the management team as they move forward. And from an industry perspective, it brings in a flavor and a perspective to the board that perhaps with me leaving, it would have been a gap. And I think Joni's going to more than fill that gap and bring in a lot of deep insights, particularly around Dexibit.
As you hand over the reins, Steve, what's the single biggest opportunity you're leaving for Lee to go after?
As I've said, I don't think the company has ever been in a better position. 25 plus years. We've had Six Flags as a client since 2001 with queuing, ticketing since 2005, 2006. 25 years with our biggest client, right? We've had Merlin since 2012. We've got a great business and we have got a great portfolio of products. Lee is walking into a company that is a great business. And with the Dexibit acquisition and really the tooling that's going to give us for AI going into the future, it's his to make his own. I've encouraged him to do that from day one, make it his own, and I think he'll do a fine job with that. And he's walking into a role that is honestly a dream job. And I know he's super excited.
Well, we're looking forward to speaking with Lee in the future. Steve, it's been great chatting with you over the past number of years, and good luck for what lies ahead.
Thank you so much. I've always enjoyed chatting with you as well. And hopefully next time you'll challenge Lee with the same questions and difficult questions you asked me.
Absolutely. Steve Brown, Chief Executive of Accesso.